Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. In the domain of TV, dark showrunners and makers have tirelessly pushed for the precise depiction of dark dads, a work that follows back to the origin of the principal dark family sitcom. Esther R. famous for her job as Florida Evans in Great Times, initially opposed playing a single parent, underscoring the significance of integrating a mentor into the story. This promotion has gone on through notorious characters. For example, Precipice Huxel. Philip Banks and Carl Winslow, a contemporary torchbearer of this inheritance, are Flex Washington, who broadened the practice by carrying Flex Washington to the little screen and displaying his job as a single parent for the survey crowd. Flex Washington's depiction is scratched in our recollections for its unmistakable nurturing style, mixing humor with liability. As a single parent, he explored the intricacies of life as a parent, adjusting the presence of ladies in his day-to-day existence, while shielding his teen little girl from growing up excessively fast. His personality reverberated as an engaging and mindful mentor, offering a message that reverberated with guardians. Flex Washington's commitment guarantees that his heritage stays permanent in the archives of TV history. A demonstration of the persevering through effect of genuine and complex depictions of dark parenthood. Starting around 2024, his net resources stand at $150,000, mirroring a profession loaded up with different encounters growing up in the midst of the difficulties of the Bronx, New York. Flex was drawn towards the charm of possessions and medications that a large number of his companions took for monetary benefit. However, he before long understood that his heart wasn't in that frame of mind. Rather, he directed his concentration toward his natural gifts for engaging and moving. It was his gymnastic abilities that procured him the epithet Flex among his companions. Flex's entrance into the business started as a road artist during his high school years. Ascending through the positions, he in the end found his forward leap as a reinforcement artist and choreographer for the notorious Salt and Peppa on account of an open door stretched out by DJ Cinderella. His excursion from the dance club to performing with one of the most smoking melodic demonstrations of the time displayed his adaptability. The progress into parody was anything but an arranged move for Flex, but rather a consequence of a challenge from a companion during an amateur hour at the Uptown Satire Corner in New York, equipped with impressions of Edith Dugout, Bullwinkle Selling Break, and Jesse Jackson. Flex made that big appearance in spite of his absence of information about organizing a satire set. His impressions resounded with the crowd, denoting the start of his stand-up vocation, shuffling his jobs as an artist with Salt and Peppa and a professional comic. Flex's devotion to satire grabbed the eye of his melodic guides, Salt and Peppa. Perceiving his energy, welcomed him to open their shows. This novel plan saw Flex flawlessly progress from performing 30 minutes of parody to returning as an artist after a speedy behind-the-scenes change. Flex Alexander's introduction to the universe of acting unfurled with his appearances on Kickoff at the Apollo and later as a cast member on the Uptown Satire Club in 1992. Anyway, it was in the next year that Alexander's leap forward in acting emerged with his job in the ABC sitcom Where I Reside. In this series, he was featured close by Doe as his dearest companion, portraying Doe's own young life encounters. The underlying gathering of Where I Reside was tepid, with low evaluations prompting the broadcasting of just 11 out of 13 episodes in the primary season. Unflinching fans energized behind the show and earning support from, in all honesty, Bill Cosby, dazzled by the capability of the series, turned into a specialist for its second season. In spite of this persuasive sponsorship, Where I Reside confronted a lamentable destiny, being dropped after only 3 episodes into the subsequent season, leaving 7 episodes unaired. Steadfast by the difficulty, Flex Washington proceeded with his process of acting, taking on visitor jobs in different television shows all through the mid-90s. His presence graced episodes of Sister New York, The Cosby Secrets, and The Volunteer Army in 1992. Alexander made his presentation on the big screen in The Movie Juice, depicting the person Flex the Challenge audition. Strangely, he had at first competed for the lead job of QA, which at last went to Omar Epps anyway. The makers were so dazzled with Flex that they made a particular scene for him in the movie. In 1995, Flex Washington ventured onto the prestigious phase of the parody jam, exhibiting his comedic abilities to a more extensive crowd. His appearance on the show denoted a huge achievement in his vocation, opening new doors in the realm of TV. Currently, Alexander wound up in one more sitcom, this time co-featuring with Daryl M. Chime In Up's Homeboys in Space, debuting in August 1996. The show is based on around two space explorers depicted by Alexander and Ringer as they explored the universe on board their spaceship named the Precipice Huxel. Tragically, the sitcom confronted a difficult excursion itself, is getting unforgiving analysis and low evaluations. Unfortunately, Homeboys in Space was dropped after its most memorable season, with simply 21 episodes coming to the wireless transmissions unfazed by the mishap. Alexander set out on another TV adventure. The accompanying season, handling a job in the ABC show All Out SAC Anyway, the series confronted an untimely end with just 6 of the initially arranged 13 episodes broadcasting before its wiping out notwithstanding these difficulties. Alexander endured in his acting profession, taking on jobs in television films and making guest appearances on sitcoms, for example, The Parkers. One striking spell in Alexander's vocation was his depiction of Darnell Wills Maya's better half in the primary time of Sweethearts, despite the fact that he rejuvenated the person for 5 episodes. Alexander needed to surrender the job to C. Kane in the show's second season. This change was required by Alexander's flight for his own show, Flex. Washington's excursion in the media business arrived at a defining moment with his 4th program, the 3rd being a sitcom that would end up being The Appeal. The show being referred to as One-on-One, where Alexander assumed the job of Flex. Washington, a previous NBA player, transformed his sportscaster push into full-time parenthood when his ex acknowledged a task abroad in an astounding disclosure. During the entertaining Stories digital broadcast, Alexander unveiled that he was the imaginative power behind One-on-One in spite of the credits ascribing the series to Yidi Moon, a carefully prepared TV essayist and maker known for her work on sitcoms like The New Ruler of Bel-Air Rock, Residing Single, Being a Parent, The Hoolas, My Significant Other, and Kids. Alexander explained that he had started the show's advancement. The disparity in credits emerged in light of the fact that Alexander didn't get official acknowledgement. As the maker, he made sense of that he neglected to enroll the thought appropriately with the Author Organization of America, a trade guild addressing movie and TV scholars. Undaunted by this authoritative oversight, Alexander got UNITA as the showrunner after fruitless endeavors to pitch the show to ABC and later Fox. The beginning of One-on-One had its foundations in Alexander's genuine perceptions, enlivened by a companion from Harlem, who was a single parent. He saw the potential for a convincing story. Urgent second that ignited the thought was seeing a business highlighting LL Cool J endeavoring to style his girls' hair for Flex. This was in excess of a second. It was the idea for a show that would challenge generalizations. His aim was clear: to depict a solitary, dark dad succeeding in his job, countering the predominant pessimistic dispositions in Flex. In Washington's words, "I need to change that account in a way that would sound natural to him. Now, what we did was unique. Since there's a piece of Cosby, there's a piece of my two fathers. It's a piece of all that. Fundamentally, this assertion mirrors the innovative blend that went into making the sitcom, drawing impacts from notable shows like The Cosby Show and My Two Fathers. One essential component of the show's prosperity was the giving of Kyla Pratt a role as Brianna Flex's little girl. Alexander distinctively reviewed his most memorable experience with Pratt while watching A Nike Business, where she imparted the screen to Lisa Leslie, intrigued by her ability and sharpness. Alexander later detected her in films like Love and Ball and the Dr. Diddle series. When Pratt tried out for the job of Brianna, her presentation made a permanent impression, getting her a spot on the show One-on-One, which turned into a TV staple circulating from 2001 to 2006 and traversing 5 seasons with north of 100 episodes. Such achievement prompted the production of a side project series, Trims, which moved the concentration to Flex's more youthful sibling, depicted by Marcus Houston. Trims confronted undoing after 2 seasons, notwithstanding its association with the generally welcomed One-on-One. Flex Alexander's obligation to his personality. Flex Washington reached out past the first series after the 4th time of One-on-One. UPN pursued an essential choice to move the story, fixating the storyline on Brianna and her school encounters instead of the father-daughter dynamic. that had been the show's point of convergence for the procedure. 4 years of Flex Washington confronted a huge change in his TV profession, as it was declared that he, alongside on-screen companions Dwayne Kelly Perrin and Banna's companion Sol Sicily, wouldn't be important for the principal projected for the fifth time of one-on-one out of the 5 primary. Characters 3 were to be supplanted by 4 new characters. Remembering the expansion of BeamJ, this change for the cast setup was met with opposition from fans, who were discouraged by the endeavor to speak to another segment. The results of this projecting purge were obvious in the evaluations for the 5th season, which saw a significant drop, contrasted with the initial 4 seasons. Fans disappointed with the adjustments answered by tuning. Thanks for watching this video.